As it stands now, I'm really mixed on Takt Op with the 3 episodes out right now. First episode was a pointless trailer, episode 2 should have been episode 1, and episode 3 is a clunky mess of exposition. It's all basic setup for the first arc in the series, and with the runtime of one movie, we barely accomplish anything. And it all goes back to how the show started with a filler episode, and delaying everything. But before I start bitching about this show, I would love to hear what you guys think so far. Do you guys think its slow moving pace is okay and I'm just being impatient, or do you think it's starting to become a problem? Episode 3 starts where we ended off last week with the aftermath of the festival and Destiny Awakening. We're then introduced to Lenny and his music cart, Titan, voiced by Miku Ito. I mention this because she uses her Kokoro voice from Bang Dream, and the two share the same personality. So it is kind of funny and jarring to see Kokoro run around with a shotgun blasting D2s to dust. Anyways, after that scene, we go into clunky exposition mode where we get a massive dump of information about the world and what exactly happened to Cassette. Basically, Cassette is dead and Destiny has replaced her, being her own person, so to speak. Music hearts were humans that are normally raised and trained by Symphonica, the army in the show, who then watch them evolve into music hearts. While they might resemble their human form, they're no longer that person and have none of their memories. In Destiny's case, she skipped all the training and evolved on her own, which makes her unstable and took away all her personality. I mentioned in my episode 2 review that my biggest problem with Cassette was that she made Destiny feel boring and cheap. Well, Titan, the music card of Lenny, has a personality and she's cheerful, energetic, and upbeat. So it reinforces my dislike for this angle of Destiny being so robotic. The current goal for the main characters is to get to New York and hopefully fix Destiny. And I'm praying to Kiwami Gaim that it means injecting Cassette's personality into Destiny. After 3 episodes, I can tell you that the dynamic between Takt and Destiny is starting to get tiresome. Episode 1 was okay since it was all action and they added banter to the fights. But 2 and 3 showed how weak Takt is as a character, being a stoic asshole who has no chemistry whatsoever with Destiny since she is so boring. Dorothy from the Big O had more personality with her sarcasm and dry wit. Destiny so far has nothing to offer and just plainly rattles off the same dialogue about missions and eliminating D2s. I'm really not hopeful that the trip to New York will fix this issue, and that's my other problem. They map out their route to New York and it looks like it's going to be a long trip. So if this show really wants to pad it out, they can put off New York until the season finale, meaning we're stuck with this bad setup for a while. And I know, 3 episodes in and I'm already complaining this much, but other shows accomplish a lot more in the first 2 episodes than Takt Op does. Sakugan is the best show to compare to, since they both have a road trip plot. You can watch my Sakugan review for more details, but the gist of it is a father and daughter leaving their home to explore the mysteries of their world. In episode 1, we've already established the world, who the main characters are, who the side characters are, and why they matter to the 2 leads. And the relationship between the 2 leads is dynamic, and already evolves by the end of it. Episode 2 of Sakugan builds on this while having a big action scene taking up a large chunk of the runtime. It's smart dialogue of trying to outsmart a kaiju that builds on the relationship of the 2 leads as they argue and support each other with their own ideas and strategies. After the fight, the 2 leads agree to become partners in the journey and want to do so to help repair their broken relationship that was established and built on in 2 episodes. It makes you really want to tune in next week and follow them on their journey. In Takt Op episode 3, we get clunky exposition and no real incentive to feel excited to see the next episode or even to watch them make it to New York. It doesn't help either that in roughly 1 hour and 30 minutes of runtime, Takt and Destiny barely say anything to each other, so there's literally nothing to build on. Who are these characters and why should I care about them when in 3 episodes you show me that these 2 don't care about each other and don't even attempt to bond? There's also no investment in Cassette, since she isn't developed enough for the viewers to be invested in seeing brought back. At the end of the day, Takt Op suffers from horrible pacing, and the 2 leads are really hard to root for, so there's no investment in their journey. Even if episode 4 smash cuts them to being in New York, it wouldn't solve the main issue of the show. Let's say that they fix Destiny, and she has a bit of Cassette in her. Well, that's nice. That's like putting a band-aid on a gash wound. You would still need to fix the pacing, Takt's overall character, justify why D2s hate music but you never use music as a weapon, and give the viewers a reason to be engaged in the fights. The fights we get so far are all pointless. And in episode 3, Destiny senses some D2s off in the distance and blasts off to fight, and that's it. Nothing clever or threatening, just oh, I sense them in a forest while we dump plot info, be right back. Yeah, it looked nice, but it amounts to nothing and wastes more time. At least in Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, the pointless fights always introduce a new toy that can do something different. Whereas here, Destiny just skates around and moves like Saber from Fate Stay Night and hits the D2s really hard. I'm really not liking what I'm seeing so far, but I'll continue to watch just to see if they can turn it around. That's another thing. If your viewers are tuning in next week because they want to see if it's still going to be bad, then you have a problem. Anyways, folks, if you watched this far, then you must have liked the video, right? I hear some yeses in the distance. If that's the case, like and subscribe to my channel for more reviews, and leave me a comment if you disagree with my thoughts on the show. Alright, later.